any work.
In it thou shalt not do any work.
Thou,
nor
thy son,
nor thy son,
nor thy daughter,
thy
manservant,
nor
thy maidservant,
nor thy maidservant,
nor thy cattle,
nor thy cattle,
nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
nor thy stranger that is within thy gates.
Verse 11. For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth.
For in 6 days the Most High made heaven and earth,
the sea,
and
all that in them is. And rested the seventh day.
And rested the seventh day.
Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day.
Wherefore the Most High blessed the Sabbath day.
And hallowed it. Verse 12. Honor thy father and thy mother. That thy days may be long upon the land. Which the Most High thy power giveth thee. Verse 13. Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not kill.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Thou shalt not commit adultery.
Verse 15. Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not steal.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Thou shalt not bear false witness against thy neighbor.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's house.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
Thou shalt not covet thy neighbor's wife.
Nor his manservant.
Nor his manservant.
Nor his maidservant.
Nor his maidservant.
Nor his ox.
Nor his ox.
Nor his ass.
Nor his ass.
Nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Nor anything that is thy neighbor's.
Okay, and I'll just finish it out here. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountain smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear, but let not the Most High speak with us, lest we die. And Moses said unto the people, Fear not, for the Most High is come to prove you, and that his fear may be before your faces, that he sin not.
Come on. All right, let's give the Most High Christ a round of applause. All right, at this time, we're going to have 7 men come up and read out of the law. Okay, so all the 7 men that we called out, you can come and read, starting from Exodus chapter number 13. All right. I'm assuming we come to this podium here to read.
Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
Hashem Yeshua Azaz, Ban Manashah, Ban Yasharala. We're coming out of the book of Exodus, chapter 13, starting at verse 1. And the Lord spake unto Moses, saying, Sanctify unto me all the firstborn, whatsoever openeth the womb among the children of Israel, both of man and of beast, it is mine. And Moses said unto the people, Remember this day in which ye came out from Egypt, out of the house of bondage. For by strength of hand the Most High brought you out from this place. There shall no leavened bread be eaten. This day came ye out in the month of Abib. And it shall be when the Most High shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, and the Hittites, and the Amorites, and the Hivites, and the Jebusites, which he sware unto thy fathers to give thee, a land flowing with milk and honey, that thou shalt keep this service in this month. 7 days shalt thou eat unleavened bread, and in the 7 days shall be a feast to the Most High. Unleavened bread shall be eaten 7 days. There shall no leavened bread be seen with thee, neither shall there be leaven seen with thee in all thy quarters. In.
Gone.
Represent the tribe of Levi. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 13, starting at verse 8. And thou shalt show thy son in that day, saying, This is done because of that which the Lord did when I came forth out of Egypt. And it shall be for a sign unto thee upon thine hand, and for a memorial between thine eyes, that the Lord's law may be in thy mouth. For with a strong hand hath the Most High brought thee out of Egypt. Thou shalt therefore keep this ordinance in its season from year to year. And it shall be when the Lord shall bring thee into the land of the Canaanites, as he sware unto thee and to thy fathers, and shall give it to thee, that thou shalt set apart unto the Lord all that openeth the matrix, and every firstling that cometh of a breast, which thou hast, the male shall be the most high heights. And every firstling of an ass thou shalt redeem with the lamb. And if thou wilt not redeem it, then thou shalt break his neck. And all the firstborn man among thy children shalt thou redeem. And it shall be, when thy son asketh thee in time to come, saying, what is this? That thou shalt say unto him, by strength of hand, the Most High brought us out from Egypt, from the house of bondage. In.
Gone. Shalom.
And it came to pass when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Lord shows that the Most High.
If you can't speak into the mic.
And it came to pass when Pharaoh would hardly let us go, that the Most High slew all the firstborn of the land of Egypt, both the firstborn of man and the firstborn of beasts. Therefore I sacrificed to the Most High all that opened the matrix, being males, but all the firstborn of the children I redeemed. And it shall be for a token upon thine hand, and for thy frontlets between thine eyes. For by strength of the hand of the Most High brought us forth out of the land of Egypt. In verse 17, and it came to pass, when Pharaoh had let the people go, that Ahiah led them not through the way of the land of the Philistines, although that was near. For the Most High said, lest peradventure the people repent when they see war, when they return to Egypt. But Ahiah led the people about through the way of the wilderness of the Red Sea, and the children of Israel went up harnessed out of the land of Egypt. And Moses took the bones of Joseph with him, for he had straitly sworn the children of Israel, saying, Ahiah will surely visit you, and ye shall carry up my bones away hence with you. And they took their journey from Sukkot and encamped in Ethan, in the edge of the wilderness. And the Most High went before them by day in a pillar of a cloud to lead them the way, and by night in a pillar of fire to give them light, to go by day and night. He took not away the pillar of the cloud by day, nor the pillar of fire by night from before the people. And
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.
Reading out of Exodus, the 14th chapter. And the Most High speaking to Moses, saying, speak unto the children of Israel, that they turn and encamp before Pi-hahiroth, between Migdal and the sea, over against Baal Zephon, before it shall ye encamp by the sea. For Pharaoh will say of the children of Israel, they are entangled in the land, the wilderness hath shut them in. And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, that he shall follow after them. And I will be honored upon Pharaoh and upon all his host, that the Egyptians may know that I am the Most High. And they did so. And it was told the king of Egypt that the people fled, and the heart of Pharaoh and of his servants were turned against the people. And they said, why have we done this, that we have let Israel go from serving us? Verse 6, and he made ready his chariot and took his people with him. And he took 600 chosen chariots and all the chariots of Egypt and captains over every one of them. In.
Gone.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shabbat Shalom.
My name is Brother Woodrow from the tribe of Judah, nation of Israel. I will be reading from Exodus 14, verse 8. And the Most High hardened the heart of Pharaoh, the king of Egypt, and he pursued after the children of Israel. And the children of Israel went out with an high hand. But the Egyptians pursued after them all the horses and chariots of Pharaoh and his horsemen and his army, and overtook them encamping by the sea, beside Pi-hahiroth, before Baal Zephon. And when Pharaoh drew nigh, the children of Israel lifted up their eyes, and behold, the Egyptians marched after them. And they were sore afraid, and the children of Israel cried out unto the Most High. And they said unto Moses, because there were no graves in Egypt, hast thou taken us away to die in the wilderness? Wherefore hast thou dealt thus with us, to carry us forth out of Egypt? Is not this word that we did tell thee in Egypt, saying, let us alone, that we may serve the Egyptians? For it had been better for us to serve the Egyptians than that we should die in the wilderness. And Moses said unto the people, fear ye not, stand still, and see the salvation of the Most High, which he will show to you today. For the Egyptians whom ye see today, ye shall see them again no more forever. The Most High shall fight for you, and ye shall hold your peace. In.
Done.
Shabbat Shalom, family.
Shabbat Shalom.
Brother Rawchaa, tribe of Levi, nation of Israel. I'm going to read from Exodus chapter 14, starting at verse 15. And the Most High said unto Moses, wherefore criest thou unto me? Speak unto the children of Israel that they go forth. But lift thou up thy rod, and stretch out thy hand over the sea, and divide it. And the children of Israel shall go on dry ground through the midst of the sea. And I, behold, I will harden the hearts of the Egyptians, that they should follow them. And I will get me honor upon Pharaoh, and upon all his hosts, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the Egyptians shall know that I am the Most High, when I have gotten my honor upon Pharaoh, upon his chariots, and upon his horsemen. And the angel of the Most High, which went before the camp of Israel, removed and went behind them. And the pillar of the cloud went from before their face and stood behind them. And it came between the camp of the Egyptians and the camp of Israel. And it was a cloud and darkness to them. But it gave light by night to these, so that one came not near to the other all that night. And Moses stretched out his hand over the sea, and the Most High caused the sea to go back by a strong east wind all that night, and made the sea dry land, and the water were divided. In.
Done.
Shabbat Shalom, this is Brother Grant.
Shabbat Shalom.
Rawchaa, tribe of Judah, son of Israel. Reading from the book of Exodus 14, starting at 22 to 29. And the children of Israel went into the midst of the sea upon the dry ground, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And the Egyptians pursued and went after them to the midst of the sea, even all Pharaoh's horses, his chariots, and his horsemen. Verse 24. And it came to pass that in the morning, whilst the Most High looked unto the host of the Egyptians through the pillar of fire and out of the cloud, and troubled the host of the Egyptians. Verse 25. And it took off their chariot wheels, that did drave them heavily, so that the Egyptians said, let us flee from the face of Israel. For the Most High fighted for them against the Egyptians. Verse 26. And the Most High said unto Moses, stretch out thy hand over the sea, that the waters may come again upon the Egyptians, upon the chariots, and upon their horsemen. Verse 27. And Moses stretched forth his hand over the sea, and the sea returned to his strength when the morning appeared, and the Egyptians fled against it, and the Most High overthrew the Egyptians in the midst of the sea. Verse 28. And the waters returned and covered the chariots and the horsemen, and all the host of Pharaoh that came into the sea after them. There remained not so much as one of them. Verse 29. But the children of Israel walked upon dry land in the midst of the sea, and the waters were a wall unto them on their right hand and on their left. And
Done. All right. So at this time, I understand that we have some performances from the choir. So if the choir can please come up, along with, I'm assuming we have a choir director, Con? Where's our choir director? All right. All right, come on now. Listen, man. We can get them old side some better love than that. I mean, it's been some time since you guys had the opportunity to fellowship. Let's give the Most High a round of applause. Let's thank the Most High for this opportunity. You guys need this microphone. This microphone.
All by power. Come on. Lion of Judah, he rules. Come on, let's give him praise. Lion of Judah, you are the Lord and King. You are the Lord and King. The Lion of Judah. Reign over everything. Reign over everything. The Lion of Judah. Son of the great I am. Son of the great I am. The Lion of Judah. The ruler of all the land. Ruler of all the land. Holy, mighty, worthy, glory, holy, mighty, worthy. Put your hands together. It's war time. I got a dog in my soul. How you think I do? I'm bringing all my strength. I'm singing all these bells. Like it every day. I watch it while I play. No matter the fact, I walk back. This me. This me. This me. But I think it's all my strength. I'm singing all this way. Just like it every day. I watch it while I breathe. No matter the fact, I walk back. This me. This me. This me. Whatever's going wrong, I'm on no wrong. I might be in all day, but you can't have my place. No matter the fact, you can't have my family. You can't have my family. You can't have my industry. You can't have my industry. You can't have my breakthrough. You can't have my breakthrough. You can't have my, you can't have my, you can't have me. I plead the blood. I plead the blood. It's a prayer protector. I plead the blood. It's a prayer for me. I plead the blood. This me. Let's bring out some praise. I plead the blood. I plead
All right, sorry about that. All right, let's give it up for the G.O.C.C. choir. And what area is that representing? That choir? All over. Oh man, let's get a most round of applause. All right, that was powerful. I'm almost tempted to say let's get one more. I'm not sure if I got another song prepared, but you know, I'm ready for one more. How about you guys? All right, let's get one more going. And then after that, we get to this word.